All right, so cat's out of the bag. I'm buying a Honda 450, 2022 Honda 450. And I just wanted to quickly, and I keep saying this over and over in our videos, explain to you why that might not be the right bike purchase for you. Here at Ride Now, they've got extremely good sales guys, super educated, they all ride, and girls. And so they're not gonna drive the most expensive bike down your throat to get the most profit, right? We gotta know that the CR450 or any 450 in any shop usually is the highest price tag. Right, just a little more than a 250 a lot of the times. And so as a sales guy, if you're making commission, that's the bike to buy, right? Like that's the bike to sell at least. And so you've got to understand that when you come in as a new rider, they're gonna try to make money. That's a business, what they do. So make sure you do your education and know what bike you want when you come in. For me, I've been racing for 20 years, feel pretty experienced. And a 450 is actually easier for me to ride than a 250. You have to ride that harder to get the same lap time as I do on a 450, but I also know how to ride the 450 correctly where I can stay safe. This is a progression. This takes a lot of time for a lot of people. Make sure that you're not the person that makes that mistake. I think another piece to this whole puzzle here is people don't necessarily understand that you need to be on a slow motorcycle to develop good technique. And the reason for that, just like anything else in your life that you learn, you have to take those steps slow. And when you're on a fast bike, it creates anxiety in the mind. And when you create that anxiety in the mind, the brain switches from, hey, I can learn, I can think about where my body's at on the bike, I can think about what the bike's doing, I can think about the track, to we go fight or flight. And we're just thinking about survival, right? So that fight or flight puts us back to whatever our habits are, whether they're new, and it's just where we're comfortable at with our muscular strength and our skeletal, positioning. You're gonna revert right back to that. So you need to make sure that you're on something slow enough that you can think about, where are my feet on the foot pegs? Where are my knees? Where are my hips? Where's my head place? How much throttle am I giving? Am I chopping the throttle? Am I using the back brake or am I using the front brake? How much am I using those two together? Like all these things have to be so habit that it's like walking before you get on something fast, because here's the thing, all your bad habits will show when things get crazy. And guess what? You ride a 450, for an inexperienced rider, it's much easier for things to get crazy.
And then when would you recommend someone get a 450?
I don't really think anyone needs a 450. If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't even think there really should be a 450 class. Even for the pros, I think that a 350, a KTM 350 is an awesome bike for someone that's super advanced and wants something that's a little faster. I'm buying it because it's a little easier for me to ride. So maybe a vet rider that has a ton of experience, or someone that has to have that bore CC to get a whole shot at a race. It's very important, and they know how to ride the bike after they do it, right? So your rider that's going to a pro national, you can't go there on an underpowered bike and even think about surviving that, or even a big amateur race, or even a local race that you're super competitive at. Your local pro guy that wants to make $1,000 on the weekend or whatever. Those people are going to want to buy the 450 because it's going to give them that competitive edge off the start where it's really important. They may be able to go same lap times on a 250 or a 450, but it gives them that advantage on the start. And from there, it's just really learning how to ride the bike and making sure that you're staying safe once things get wild.
Why is it easier for you to ride one?
It's easier because I can ride it a gear higher where the power doesn't hit as hard, meaning it's a little more mellow off the bottom. On a 250, you have to ride it a gear lower where you're a little further up in the RPMs to get that right amount of power. And so I can ride it in more of a relaxed state. So when you ride the bike a gear higher, the bike relaxes. Suspension works better, the wheels move, everything moves better on the bike when you're a gear higher. So for me, I like to lug the bike around, I like to carry momentum. I don't really like to get on the gas super hard all at once like you have to do on the the smaller bore bikes for an advanced rider. And so it's just more of a relaxed ride for me. But again, I'm different than 99.9% of riders from my experience level, racing professionally and going through all those steps. So it's not for everyone. It's just not. So.
Do you want to talk about it's only smoother because you're going a lot faster than most people are going?
That's not necessarily the case, but it helps. I think it's smoother because I ride that way. I don't think, I ride that way because I focus on my technique. And when you focus on your technique, it usually smooths you out, slows you down, smooths you out, and you end up being faster. It's just more of a momentum, constant speed thing rather than speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. But the 450 is good for that. It's good to carry momentum It's good to be able to have the power when you need it. Say you mess up in a corner and you still want to jump the big jump, you can make that mistake and still jump the big jump. But again, very few people that should be jumping that big jump, right? So that's the thing we got to think about is who is this for? And for the most part, it's not for everyone, you know, so you got to be careful. All right, we bought the bike. It's time to go shred. I'm pretty excited about a new bike. I got the 2-stroke now, which you guys have all seen. Now I'm back on the Honda, which you guys have seen in the previous videos, but now we got that new 2022. Be on the lookout for a first impressions video. I'm pretty stoked to get out on this thing.